Hello. Just decided to suddenly go live. From tomorrow, I will schedule approximately the same time. I will put it in advance and I will send out a notification about this. Cats are keeping on troubling me coming onto the bed. One little one. The eldest, 8 years old. Continuously on the bed. I have to keep chasing her out. And the 3-year-old male also is trying to come up. And the 4-month little one, oh, she's a terror. Terror in the sense that up to all the mischief possible. But they keep me occupied. They are a little fun. My thumbnail for today is about Christmas celebration in Canada. And this was many years back. I think it was 2017 Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. 2017 Christmas. I have only pictures, no videos, so I'll just make a shot out of it and I will upload the shot. I found it on my Google Photos, so if I had to notice it earlier and think about it, I could have put it during the Christmas week. But anyhow, better late than never, as they always say. Just discovered I forgot to share the link. Welcome, Pita. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. How are things going well for you, Pita? Okay, that's good. Exam week. So soon exams. School just opened. School just opened and already exams. Poor kids, really. Torture, torture for them. I guess it's a little break for the teachers also from teaching, but then the headache of corrections, that's another big headache, sitting and correcting their work. Since English and math were my main subjects, I did not mind, correcting the math papers. They used to go pretty fast, but the English, oh my God, you got to correct so many things in English, and it was like never ending corrections. And when you give a composition or an essay, oh my gosh, that's the worst because you got to read through everything. Sometimes I became so tired, I would just kind of scan through, what they have written. Oh, these cats, these cats. One is chasing the other, and the third one doesn't know what is happening. Yes, you told me last time you had a meeting with the education department, and also you had sent me, they had sent out a circular about all the changes taking place, right? So I have to blame the Department of Education. DepEd. Oh my gosh, I tell you, really. Like the other day, my sister sent me about in India, they are going to be changing the whole education system compared to what it was. And it's such a mess, I don't know in what way they find it's going to be so good and, better for the students. I do not understand that. But yeah, I think it was really, God, I think it was really, it's bad. They just do things. I don't know who's on the educational board, what are they thinking about, and what makes them do these things. I just don't understand. Joyce said she would be on, but she said she may not be active on the chat. So I don't know because I don't see her on. So I'm not too sure. If my sister gets up for a pee break or something like that, she may log in. Yeah, someone asked about the video of the parrot. No, I don't think those are the talking parrots, because it's just somebody put in, a breed. I forget what name they said, but wow, it was really fantastic. some kind of name the person gave about the parrot. It was quite a long name, but very, very interesting, like name. So yeah, I don't know these type of parrots, like their names and what they look like, and no idea. Not much idea in the animal field or the birds and things like that. Even trees, fauna also, no. Flora and fauna, no. I don't really recognize. I remember, once when early when my first year of teaching, I was teaching grade four science, and we came to a lesson on flowering plants. And I like to always be well prepared in advance. So, flowering plants. As I was going through all that, I suddenly saw that there was a thing called what was it? The bougainvillea. And I went and asked my mom, like, I said, Mom, I've got to teach this lesson. I don't know what bougainvilleas are. And she said, Oh my God, son, outside the principal's office, the other side, from the back entrance where it faces the lawn, bougainvillea is growing wild over there, right around his door. And I said, Really? And I'm trying to recollect what that is like. So the next day when I went to school, I made sure to go to the lawn and check and see, what is this bougainvillea? And so, oh my God, these little red and pink flowers, like, almost three petal flowers or something like, oh, these are the bougainvilleas. Wow, they are growing so wild in my school. And like, I did not know anything about it. So my brother, and then there was plants like the cana and things like that. So my mother, she took me to the botanical zoo, and then she like showed me all the different types of plants, and she was giving me all the names of the plants. So can you imagine? I was already so big and teaching, and I had not even known the names of these, but my mother was able to pinpoint and show me all that. And some of them were labeled, some were not labeled. So my mother filled me in on those things that were not labeled. So yeah, so this was nice, like I was happy at least about that. And talking about this, oh my gosh, I must really tell you about this. When I was doing my teacher's training, all right, and I had put out I've got a picture out. I do not know if anyone has seen that picture, but it is a play that we acted in, and it was a musical play, and the title was Trial by Jury. So it was like about lawyers, like, so we were all lawyers, but, we had a slipshod lawyers, like, not the real refined type and things like that. And it's a musical play, so it's just for fun. And so in that, while we were doing, so we were all dressed in different jackets and all sorts of things. And suddenly my geography professor, he was also a very good director. Uh, may he rest in peace. He died just a few months ago. So he said, Winston, can you just go down and grab some bougainvilleas and bring it? They will make a good decoration if we put it into our lapel, jackets. They have that lapel holes, for the flower. So he said it'll look nice, if we all had that. So can you just run and bring a couple of these flowers, marigolds, sorry, the marigolds. Can you go and bring me these marigolds? And I said, yes, sir, sure, sir. Dad. And I ran down the stairs, like, ran down and then stood in front of the school garden. And then I had a look at the school garden and so many flowers. And I'm thinking, what the hell is marigold from here? And that time I was quite shy and backward. And my mom always used to say, Winston, you're so backward to go forward. I'll never forget those words, from my mother. You're backward to go forward. So I just stood there for some time, and there was an old matron at the side, matron looking after the dormitory. So she was looking after some kids who were playing out there. And she said, Son, you are looking lost. Oh, hi, Alex. Nice to see you passing by. Good morning, Alex. So I'm just telling them about how I never knew anything about flowers and their names and all. So I quickly, so the matron asked me, she said, Winston, are you looking, no, son, are you looking for anything? And I said, yes, ma'am, Mr. Blackmore sent me down to get some marigolds, and I just do not know what are marigolds. And she started laughing and she said, I'm sorry, son, I'm sorry, son. I'm laughing not to make fun of you. I'm just laughing because you see all those flowers that are in front of you growing wild, all that are marigolds. And I said, oh my God. And they come in yellow, they come in red, pink, all different and nice big flowers. And I know these flowers are also some of the religious people. They use this, like, as offerings to God and things like that, or to make a kind of a garland out of it and all that. So I've seen that before, but I never knew that these were marigolds. So I said, "Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am." So quickly went and plucked, a few of the different types and all that, and came running back and gave it to the professor, like, Mr. Blackmore. And then he, each of us took one and we put it into that lapel hole in our jackets, like. So there, my experience like that was in training college. Like, I did not know. And even these marigolds, the Nepalese and the school children over there, they used to play a kind of a game called chungfa, chungfa. And it's like, how we play like football, and we just keep hitting the ball with our foot and passing the ball to each other, making sure the ball doesn't fall on the floor. So they used to play this kind of a game, like, with these flowers and chungfa. So I never knew these were marigolds, like, but at least, that's how I learned. And then when I joined my school to teach in my first year, then after that, my mother took me around because I did not know what was bougainvillea. So she took, and then I needed so many flowering plants. It was a lesson I had to teach in grade 4. So my mother took me to the botanical garden, and then some were labeled, some were not labeled. So she filled me in, with all the different type of plants, and especially the ones that I needed to teach. So, yeah, so that's how, So it was really, it's totally a learning experience. It's totally a learning experience from young. It's a totally a learning experience. And even, as teachers, we learn so much from our students. I know Pita and Joyce would agree with me, like, we really learn a lot. Oh, Jilin, thank you so much. At last you are found time. You found your way to my live stream. So just to introduce to some of you here, Jilin is from Cebu, somewhere in the north of Cebu. I forget now which province she is in. And the Philippine Adventures is Alex. Alex is from Manila. She lives there at the moment from Manila, but she is from Pangasinan, if I pronounce that correctly. And then I have Pita over here. Pita is now taken over as the principal of a school, a vocational kind of a school with high school as well. And she is in Iligan City. And I don't know, Joyce said that she would log in but not be active on the chat. But if Joyce is anywhere around, Joyce is also a teacher, a social studies teacher, and she is from Spanish Town. So these are all the ones on my channel right now at the moment. Yeah, so for me as a teacher, I always feel that it is a total learning experience. It's a total learning experience because we learn from our students as well. There are many things we learn from our students. So I am very, very happy to have been in this profession. I enjoy this profession. In fact, I always loved, I always loved kids. And even when I finished school, and between school and work and college, whenever I had time, I used to visit my old school. I used to play around with the kids a lot, like, and laugh and joke with them, and make them happy. And good anecdote about that, that part of my life. So I used to play with them and all. And finally, I went for my teacher's training. So for 2 years I was away. Just came back Christmas time. The first year came back for Christmas, but had to go back again. So the 2 years that I spent there, so after 2 years when I returned, I came to teach in the same school I passed out from. So I remember I was now part of the junior school. So I remember the first day when I walked into the school and all the kids and all were lined up for the assembly in the junior school hall. And as I passed, some of these kids, who I used to laugh and joke with, like they must have been in grade 2 or 3 or those kind of years, like grade 3, 2, 3, 4. Now they were now like in grade 6 and 7 and all, so when I came back, they were all as I was walking through, they were all snickering and all and saying, and no, they came up to me and they were laughing and joking and putting out their hands and saying all sorts of things and all that. And me, I was with a stern face. I was just walking past them, just with a very stern face, just walking past them, and I did not laugh or joke or anything with them. And they were suddenly I heard them talking to each other and they were saying, "Oh, what has happened to him? Why is he not talking? How is he behaving with us?" They were just talking to each other. And then when the assembly started, the bell rang, and then the assembly started, and then I was like called up, a little on the stage, like, and I was introduced as now. We have a new teacher who has joined our school from January this year, and this is Mr. Burton, and he has been also an ex-student of the school, and now he has come back to teach in the same school. And I could hear some of these, they were pretty loud. Oh my gosh, he's become a sir. It was so much fun. But later on, I did meet them. And I just explained to them, I'm sorry, like, now I'm a teacher, and now as a teacher, there are different rules, there are different things that have to be followed. Protocol is there. So, I'm sorry, I cannot laugh and joke with you as I used to do before. But I can talk to you and I can have some fun with you, but not as we used to have before. So I hope you all understand. And even more interesting than this, okay, even more interesting than this is there were students like who were in grade 7 and 8 and all. And by the time I returned, they were already in grade 9 and grade 10. So they were in the graduating class. So they also used to come up to me and say, "Oh, hello, Winston, how are you?" and all that. And I was with a straight poker face, like. And they were wondering, why am I? I just used to say, "Hello, how are you?" Very nice. And, so formal, like, and they were mad, like. So one day after school, and this was just in the first few days of my teaching. So one day after school, uh, they all stopped me at the entrance of the school, to the main road. They were all outside. And as I came out, they all pounced on me and all surrounded me. And there was so much noise and chaos, with those senior students and all laughing and giggling, and mostly all girls, of course. And they all were saying, "Oh, what is this? You're ignoring us in school," and all. Then I was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So now I put on my good personality. And I said, "Hey, no, guys, listen, you all have to understand. I'm now a teacher. I cannot laugh and joke with you guys like in school as I used to do before. So, there's a protocol, there's norms. I have to follow those norms. Like, so I'm so sorry." I said, "I cannot laugh and joke in school. But if you meet me outside the school, I will definitely enjoy laughing and joking with you as before." I said, "So no problem with that." I said, "Only in school, I'm sorry, I have to be formal. We can laugh and joke and all. If I happen to be teaching you in the classroom, then yes, we could laugh and joke a lot more. But yeah, we cannot do that right now." And at that time, I was only teaching grade 4, 5, and 3, 4, 5, and yeah, 3, 4, 5. I was teaching. Then I taught 6 afterwards. So, they said, "Anyhow, we are not going to spare you. We are not going to spare you. So that was it. And next morning, when I came to school, the office boy, he came with a note that the principal wants to see me. I said, "Oh God, now what's the problem? Like, any problem? Because my teaching and all, I know I'm good. Like, sorry, I am really good." So I went to his office and he said, sit down and all. And he was my same principal when I was in school. So I said, "Any problem, sir?" And he said, he was a priest also, Anglican. It was an Anglican school, Protestant Anglican school, and he was a priest over there also. So he said, "No, no, Winston, uh, I believe you were laughing and joking and all with all the senior students outside the school, and especially most of them were girls." And I said, Oh, sir, what to tell you? I used to come to school before, and I just told him briefly how I used to laugh and joke with them, and now I'm very serious with them. So they got me out of outside school, and or they were, fully in full life and all that. So he said, "Yeah, but Winston, now you're a teacher." I said, "Yeah, I understand." I said, "Don't worry, it will not happen again." So casually, I asked him, I said, "So, how did you come to know?" Of course, he stays in the school premises also. And like in the house that he was staying in, like if he came out of his house, he could look into the main road. So I wondered whether, he could look at that entrance of the gate, but it's pretty far. So I just wondered whether, how did he notice? Like, so I asked him, and he said, no, no, no. He said, we come to know things, as he said, and you are at the school gate, so, many people can notice. And I began to think about it, and like in the twinkling of an eye, I said, "Oh, I know who it is, sir. It is Mrs. James." And he started laughing, He started laughing. He said, "How do you know it is Mrs. James?" And I said, "Sir, Mrs. James is a very nosy Parker in the school. I have known her from the time I was a student here. And I know she lives just above the school gate. She lives, and a balcony faces where I was standing talking to these kids. So it cannot be anyone else. It has to be only Mrs. James who would have come to complain to you about me." So he started laughing. I said, "Okay, sir, I got the answer to my question." So, this one, a nosy Parker man teaching the senior, old bloody grouch she was. And the school that I passed out from and came back to teach in the same school, I was in the school only for 1.5 year. Before that, I was in another school. That is another long story. But in that school, I was there as a boarder from grade three. From grade three to grade nine, I was a boarder. And I was born and brought up and raised as a Roman Catholic. Okay. But some of the other, my father went through many religions. He was already always a person who was moving from religion to religion. So he even embraced, like, not embraced, but he even went through like Buddhism, and I don't know, there's some kind of a thing called Shinto, like, he even went through that part of Buddhism or something like that, or the Chinese or what, I don't know. But and then he got roped into, like, not got roped into, but he one day began to just get encouraged with the Jehovah's Witness. I don't know if any of you have heard of Jehovah's Witness. Okay, that's another Christian sect. So he got busy with that, and then my mom and myself, we both got involved in that, and I was just in grade 10. Okay, no, actually I was in grade 9 at that time, and I just got involved in it, and then my mom and myself got very involved in it. We later on we I got baptized even as a Jehovah's Witness. Okay, and I got very involved in their lectures and everything. That when I was in grade 10, when I just went to grade 10 in January that year, I gave up my schooling. I told my parents, "I'm not going back to school. I'm going to become a minister." And my parents kept telling me, "Winston, just finish your high school. You only have another 2 years left." Because that time we were doing the old Cambridge system. It was a British like system, the old Cambridge. So we had till grade 11. So they said, "Just finish your education and then you can do whatever you want, no problem." And yeah, I was a good boy, okay, not a naughty boy. But I don't know, with religion, this is what happened to me. But I was so adamant because they were teaching, like, the world is soon going to come to an end, and God knows what calculation they used to give and all that. So I said, "No, no, no, I want to become a minister." So I gave up school for 6 months. I gave up school and I became a minister. I was going house to house, door to door, preaching, the Bible. And yes, I knew the Bible. As a Roman Catholic, I didn't know the Bible from cover to cover. But as a Jehovah's Witness, I knew the Bible from cover to cover, right from Genesis to Revelation, like. And there were many famous scriptures that we used to mostly quote. So, like, they just came off the cuff, like. So don't ask me today for quotations. All right. Now I'm not a minister. Now I'm a devil advocate of the devil. That also is another story. Wait, I'll tell you later. So I gave up my schooling, went as a minister, and then as a minister, I discovered so many, flaws. So many flaws I discovered. Like I remember there was a Canadian minister. When he used to get on the pulpit, he used to be preaching, and they are saying, "Don't follow fashion. They don't celebrate birthdays," and they say, "Don't follow fashion and trend." And that time bell bottoms was in fashion, so I used to wear bell bottom pants, big flares at the bottom. So he says, "No, never to follow fashion, latest trends, and all." And he used to be up on the pulpit preaching, and he was wearing bell bottoms. So I was one always, even from school days, always question, question, question. I never took things lightly and granted. If I felt something was not right, it was not right. Bla- A guy called a spade a spade. So I used to question a lot. So I started questioning the religion. I started questioning, and then one another nice minister, very very kind-hearted couple. They were no kids and all that. Mr. Cons, Mr. and Mrs. Cons. I remember him telling me, "Son, we are not following man, we are following God. So you don't have to worry about these people who are not." But I said, "He's a minister. He's been a minister for so many years. He's up on the pulpit. He's preaching to us. He's telling us what not to do, and he himself is doing it. I'm sorry, I cannot take something like that. If you must practice what you preach, isn't it?" So I was rebelling against it. After 6 months, I said, "Goodbye, Tata. This life is not for me." So I went to my parents and told my parents, "I'm so sorry. I created a mistake, but I want to go back to school now and complete my high school." And they were very happy about it. But now I could not go back to my previous school. So what to do? So my sister was in this particular school, and she had a very good reputation, a very good name. She was a very good athlete. She represented our state, also province, like our state. She represented in the school for the state runs and inter school and all. So she was one of the top athletes there. She even went to represent the country, but my mom was not favorable for her as a girl to go off alone, and stay for camps and all that. In those days, it was so closed. It was like life. So finally, my mother went to the principal and spoke to the principal and all. My son is actually a good. He doesn't have any vices, but I don't know this religion. He got roped into it and all that, but he wants to go back to school now because of the good reputation of my sister. So the principal said, "Okay, Emily is a very good person. We've known Emily. She's brought a lot of honors to the school. So I'm sure your son is good. And I know as parents, you all are very good, God-fearing parents. So okay, I'll give him admission." So I got admission in that school only in the June, middle of the school curriculum year in grade 10. So I was there only for 1.5 year. But in 1.5 year, I created a very, very good name for myself in the school, not only as a student, but, I was taken into all the sporting teams, athletics, football, hockey. In my previous school, the only thing I played for is football, and I played only for my house. We are divided into different houses, colors and house names and all that in the school. So I was only playing for my house, like my school color. That's all, not for the school, only for my house, like So and the only other thing I got medals and certificates for were carom, indoor tournament carom, like and football is the only other outside field game that I used to be involved in. But when I came here to this new school where my sister was, my I just took part in everything. I represented the school for athletics. I never knew I was a long distance runner, but we had a 1500 meter race, and in the 1500-meter race I came first. And I was shocked myself, to beat all the others. um, I couldn't run the 100 meters. I never placed anywhere in the first three positions for the short distance: 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, 800 meters. In school, I remember I just came third, but then in the 1500 I came first. And then their school had a tradition for a long distance run. And that was, we had to go outside the school, and we ran from one particular point to another particular point, like, And in that long distance run, I think it was 5 or 10 kilometers or something like that, like. So in that I took part, And I remember when, because I had won the long distance, the 1500 in the school, so everybody noticed that I'm a good long distance runner. So, we had a boy in my class who had repeated the board exam on two previous occasions, and this was the third time he was sitting. And he was supposed to be a good runner, but I never ever noticed him in the school, being a good runner. But they all told me, listen, this is his final year. Let him win the race. I said, hey, I'm not going to win the race. I do not know myself. Also, I've never been an athlete as such. Like, it's just that over here I've discovered myself, that I have this talent. So I don't know, I said. So I don't know. I'm just going to form my own strategy as I'm running. So just tell him to keep up with me, like, and so he said, they told him, like, Arun, just keep up with Winston, like, and he'll let you go forward and win first. For me, what winning and losing, what is it? Yeah, yeah. And it was a new experience for me, taking part in athletics. So we started the race. We began running, and at up to halfway, this guy was like with me, and I was like in the lead always. So he was with me, and then when we turned around the bend, whenever I glanced sideways, he was nowhere in sight. So I said, now that forget about it. If he's fallen back, that's his problem. And I went on to finish first, and I had my sports master, who later on became my father-in-law. So he was cycling at the side, watching us, and he also cheered me on a lot. That time there was nothing going on between his daughter and me, but he cheered me on a lot. And at the finish line was my sister and a very good class friend of hers, and I could hear her like more than a mile away, screaming and shouting to me, "Come on, Winston! Come on! You can do it!" And yeah, so I finally I did come first. So yeah, that was so. Um, from that time, I noticed I represented the school in football, hockey, in athletics, also relay. I remember that year for the inter-school sports in my final year of school. Like our team, we were placed third. So someone ran the 100 meters, someone ran the 200 meters, I ran the 400 meters, and then another person ended with the 100 meters. So yeah, we were placed third. So that began my sporting career. I realized that yes, I had real good talent, and later on, I went on to become a very good football player. I was always hoping somebody would recognize me, like, and take me into a state team or something like that. It never ever happened. Like, but yeah, I enjoyed. I enjoyed, and football became my main sport. Like, and all through my teaching career, also when I used to play in the staff matches, staff versus boys, I just became better and better and better in my game, and people just praised me. Like in another school where I taught for 10 years. Um, One day, one teacher they migrated to the UK, and she came over to Canada to spend, she said, I want to see us a white Christmas. So she came over to spend Christmas with us. But unfortunately, there was no snow on Christmas Day or anywhere near Christmas Day. So she was very disappointed. But she did see snow later on. So when she came and casually talking and all that, and talk came about my football. And then she said, Winston, you do not know all these teachers. She was teaching in the KG in that school where I was for 10 years. She's saying, all of us in the junior school section were so crazy about you. And many of them were married. Some were single, but many were married. She said, but we were so crazy about you that every Friday we used to come out on the field. We used to come there just to watch you playing, and all of us would be cheering for you, like, but the main reason we came just to watch you playing, so many of the junior school. And I know I was to wonder why the junior school people are there, like, interested in football. So, but I came to know so many years later, not football, they were interested in me and the way I played my game, like, So I still get comments, about my game on Facebook, from the school, the Bishop School, my ex-students, and even the master, even the man who became the headmaster, teacher became the headmaster later on. He still comments, like, so much. And so, Winston, I can never forget that. Like, so yeah, I had an illustrious career that way. Anything you want to know, you can let me know. I'm just babbling on and on, but you learn more about my life as well. Talking about athletics also, we used to have the school sports. in the same school I was for 10 years. We had school sports, and we had the staff versus boys relay team. So in the relay team, one day we had a new master who joined from another school, in the northeast, and he joined a short bit of a fellow, very very egoistic fellow, and they say mostly short people have a very big ego, like Napoleon, So he came, and when we were having the thing, they all said Winston will be ending the race because he's the fastest, so he's going to be ending the race. I would always end the race, but he said no, 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 no. I'm also a very good runner from my school days, and even now, so we need to all have a race and see who is the fastest, and that person will end the race. So, everybody said, Ronnie, forget it. His name was Ronald Smart, but he was not really smart. They said, Ronald, we know Winston. He's really the fastest. You see him on the football field and all that. No, he will end the race. No, 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 we'll all have a race. So stupidly on the field in front of all the students, we were having a 100-meter race. Sad to say, while I was running, I was able to look back at them and run forward. He was way behind me. So it was like that. Then he agreed, okay, okay, Winston will end the race. Now, don't ask me to run. Don't ask me to run. Like one year when I was working in Dubai, I used to go back home. And one year when I went to play with as a staff member again, ex-staff member, I went to play. Um, the janitor in the school, he told me he was a very good hockey player, but janitor. He said, oh, your game has gone down a little bit compared to before. I said, are you sure? I think my game is okay. My speed has gone down because I used to be breathless when first I could run from one end of the field to the other end of the field. But then I started getting very breathless, I couldn't get back like in time. So that became a big problem. Like in school days for football, I was always a defender, always a defender. So, and I would be running for the defending and to the half line, I would be running very often back and forth, and but later on as a teacher, I started out as a defender, and then I don't know, my skills had improved so much that I have even gone from being a defender of the goal, defender, not the goalie, the two people who are behind. Sometimes they have a formation of two or three, in the defending line. And then comes the goalkeeper. So from the defending line, I have taken the ball right up to the other end of the goal and shot a goal. And another occasion and that headmaster really remembers this, and comments on it many times. From the half line, I shot a goal, right from the half line. So um, soon from the being a defender, I started going into the forward, being a forward. So, and the ball used to be passed to me very often so that I could score. I even scored many a times. I scored from a corner kick, which is really not very easy to score because so many people are defending it. But directly I was being able to score from a corner kick. So, um, and some of the other, though I'm right-handed, I would never be able to take those corner kicks so well with my right leg as much as I would do it with my left leg. And talking about that, very surprisingly, whenever I'm driving, when I was driving back home, when I was driving in Dubai, when I was driving in Canada, I'm very comfortable driving only using my left hand, not my right hand. And I used to tell my daughter sometime, at one time I told my daughter, I don't know, I'm right-handed. I do so many things with the right hand, but I notice certain things I only do with the left hand. And I'm very comfortable doing that with the left hand. And she says, Daddy, maybe you were left-handed from before, but in those days when you were growing up, in our days, if you're left-handed, people forced you to be right-handed. No, parents never liked a left-handed person. It was not acceptable, So I don't know why, or what was the reason, anyhow. So she said maybe you were a left-handed, or maybe also you were ambidextrous. Okay, could be you were also ambidextrous, but because of the norm of right-handed people, so you were forced or geared more into using your right hand more, and therefore you do most of your things with the right hand. but there are many things you're comfortable doing with the left hand. So whenever I'm driving, I don't like to drive with both hands. Very rarely I use both my hands. Um, so I try to use it only mostly when turning, because it's safer than using one hand. But usually when I'm driving, I'm only driving with the left hand. So yeah, so my left kicks were, some of the other corner kicks were fantastic, to score a goal compared to the right. So I don't know. Some things we have a reason for it, and other things no reason. So yeah, that's so much of my life from there. Don't know if anyone wants to know anything else. Sepak takro. Okay, so you'll have the game over there also. So interesting, no? So interesting. So interesting how different games in different countries. Yeah, but they still play the same thing. Yeah. Okay, I want to talking about this. Okay. What is a very bad habit? What is a very bad habit and a strange and a very what is a very bad habit that you find people in every country they are doing it? Every country. It's a bad habit. It doesn't look good to be doing it in public. You do it in the privacy of your home, it's okay, but you do it in public, but it's a bad habit. Okay, so people are always doing it, right? Always doing it. And right from babies, no, babies means, like, okay, toddlers, I would say. Okay, right from toddlers to old old senior citizens, right from toddlers to old senior citizens, they all do it, like, they all do it. So put into your comments, let me see who comes up with the right answer. Put into your comments, what is a bad habit that I have seen, like, in all the countries I've been to, I have seen it. And I've seen some videos also, like, just general public, and it's a bad habit that people do in public. um, you know, right from toddlers to senior citizens as well, like, So put into your comments whatever you think that bad habit is. It will be very interesting to know about your thoughts. And let me see, maybe at some later time in my live stream of mine, let's say next week. Okay, sometime maybe next week, on the next weekend or something. Yeah, next weekend, not this coming week, or this coming. Okay, this coming weekend. Let's give enough time. This coming weekend, on my live stream, I will send notifications earlier. I will send out a notification earlier about that. I will send out a post, and I will tabulate, like, uh, all the different types of bad habits that people have mentioned, written about. And let's see, like, if anybody has, how many will have the correct answer. All right. And let's see later on if you would agree with my answer also. So then, yeah, that is something nice. Just talking about that reminded me about habits. So let's see what answer. So anyone still here on the chat, you can just put in your comment, like, what you think is a bad habit that is done by toddlers, right from toddlers to senior citizens, and they even do it publicly, which is really sickening, to look at. So let's have your comments on that. Let me see if I have missed any. If I've missed any comments. Oh, I have to log into the thing myself. Uh, 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 uh. Oh my gosh. Dashboard, channel, live. Okay, let me go to the Facebook and log in from there. Sorry, let me just get my post and let me see. Uh, oh my God, why is life so complicated? I hate using a phone, So difficult to find what I want. What's on your mind? Okay, got it. Okay, let me see now.
Okay, let me see now.
Where are the comments? Where are the comments? Oh, come on. Oh my gosh, it's so difficult for me with this phone to find out what to do and what not to do. Okay, I don't think I missed any comments. Okay, leave it. I can't get into it. Last time I got into it, now this time I cannot get into it. I remember Iya telling me, just see how you normally get into how you normally look at anybody else's video channel. So you log into yours and watch it the same way. So I could watch it, but I cannot see any comments anywhere. So I don't know. The comments section was not showing on my phone. It did not list the comments. So, oh my God, there's so much I still have to get used to. But I don't like using the phone. I like the laptop. The laptop is so comfortable, very comfortable. The laptop is. What happened? What happened, baby? The eldest cat is not too well. I think it has diarrhea or something. Yes, Pita, I understand. I understand your exams are going on, so you are also busy there. But thank you for keeping your phone on and peeping in and commenting now and then. Yeah, I understand. Don't worry. Just appreciate it. No, no coming up. No coming up. So yes, I appreciate that. Don't worry. Try something. I'm trying to light up my face. Okay, I realize it's not this side, it's the other side. Yeah, this is where it should be. Correct. If I have a light over here, if I have a light over here, yes, this is how it should be. A light over here would make it ideal. Let's see how I can get that done. Okay, Pita, scholarship. Yeah, it's good. There's so many students who are talented and they deserve to get, they deserve to get, a scholarship. But that's one thing I noticed, like Philippines, I've come to know through you, like Philippines, they give a lot of grants to people to, do trades and things like that. So, the people don't pay for anything. So that's one thing I appreciate about the Philippine government. There are so many things that people can take advantage of and do it. And though Philippines is such a poor country, I do not know how the government funds, for these kind of things. Or I don't know if it's everywhere or only in certain provinces, but I know in Elegant City, there are many things that students are able to do, and not just students. I mean, like even those who like Pita herself, she has done a lot of uh, training and things like that. She's done, and it was all paid for by the government. So yeah, I think that's very nice. So I don't know if that is the case in all provinces or only in that province of where Pita is. IQ General. IQ General, nice to see you here. I think this is the first time I'm seeing you, not only on my live, but also coming to my channel. And a very warm welcome, IQ General. Can you just tell us where you are from? Oh, you removed your message. No, I'm not a businessman. I'm a retired teacher. Can you put into the comments, IQ General, where you are from and what's your first name? Iraq. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, when I was teaching in Dubai and then I was vice principal of the American school in Dubai, I had a lot of Iraqi teachers also. Okay, IQ for Iraq. So are you a general in the army as well? Okay, Pita, that is good. Okay, that is good. That is good. Aye, aye, Iraq general. Aye, aye. Good name you have taken. You have chosen a very good name. Software engineer. Wow, good. Today, computer is the in thing. What's your first name, General, if you don't mind me asking? Then the others can interact with you. I will visit your channel later on and I will subscribe to your channel as well. Or let me see, can I get into your channel right now? Do you have a YouTube channel? Okay, you don't make videos and you don't want to share your name here. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's okay. No problem. It's just that if you had a video channel, I would have shared it here, and I would have subscribed to your channel as well. So that's okay. If you don't want to share your name, that's perfectly okay. We'll just call you General. Okay, just call you General. No, I left Dubai. I was there for 19 years. I'm left. I left Dubai. Now I'm based in Canada. See, Dubai, most of the Gulf countries, okay, it is hot, no doubt. But first of all, you're living in air-conditioned homes, right? Then, when you're traveling in the air-conditioned car. When you go to your place of work, again you're in air condition. You go out to a mall or something, you're in air condition, right? So if you go to sea, you don't really experience the heat unless you're out walking. Even if you're walking like from the building entrance in the car to your car in the car park, yes, it is hot. You go to a park or to a beach or something like that, yes, it is hot. But most of the life you're living in air conditioned comfort, so you don't really experience the heat unless you are really out in the open. So I lived 19 years in Dubai, and I quite enjoyed it. I don't like heat. I don't like the heat, but yes, when you are outside and you are exposed to the heat, well, you are exposed to the heat. You cannot do anything with the heat. Like I always say, even if you remove all your clothes, you still feel hot. But I like the cold, not snow, but I like the cold because even if it's very cold, you can wear warm things and keep yourself warm. But when it's hot, there's nothing you can do with the heat. So you are right from that point of view, yes. But no, I think like I quite enjoyed my 19 years in Dubai. Yeah, but the equator is more tropical, and a lot of rain, on the equatorial region, a lot of rainfall. That's what I learned in geography as well, and too much of rain, and gives rise to a lot of sickness, like ill health because of things like mosquitoes and all these kind of insects and all that. So yeah, equatorial region might be okay. I don't know. And of course, many people don't like even the slightest cold. So, it depends on where somebody is comfortable to live in. Iraq also gets pretty hot, right? Iraq also gets pretty hot. I never visited Iraq. I visited Lebanon. I've been wanting to go to Egypt, but never made it. But I visited Lebanon a couple of times while I was in the Gulf region. I've been to Oman and Dubai. Of course, I've been to almost all the provinces, all the yeah, all the Emirates I've been to in Dubai. Yes, you're right about Nairobi in Africa. Yeah, and then plus also these kind of countries, the living condition is so poor, the people are poor, so ill health is definitely rampant over there. So yeah, I don't know. It depends on where each one is comfortable to live. Like some people live up in the mountains. They live up in the mountains, like far away from civilization. Also, like one house is far away from another. Some people are living kind of a desert region, right? So I guess you're right, IQ General. It all depends on where people like to live, where they are comfortable to live in, or because of certain circumstances, they are just forced to live over there. So yeah, that is quite a problem. But what to do? People have to make the best of life, right? I don't know about Canadians being very polite, but I don't like Canada at all. I have never liked Canada. I do not like their policies and many things about Canada. I just don't. I hate it. I don't advise anybody ever going to Canada. That's why I just travel out of Canada mostly. I don't like to keep living over there. And I always advise youngsters and all, never go to Canada at all. No, if you want, or to me, Australia is the best country. I visited Australia last year in April, and I always had good opinion about Australia. I visited New Zealand 4 years in a row, so I know a lot about New Zealand. And at that time, from 2000 to 2004, so New Zealand is a nice country to live in as well. But Australia beats everybody. And when I went in April last year, I know for sure now Australia is really worth it. I've known of many of my teachers, some even from Pakistan, who went off to Australia, and they are doing so much better for themselves, even in education, whereas it was a struggle for them, and they have improved a lot in their English as well. So I've seen the good progress they've made, and their kids have improved tremendously. And after schooling, also they get a lot of facilities. On retirement, they get a lot of better facilities. And I would suggest Australia as the best country to migrate to in these times. That's my personal opinion. I'm no great expert on these kind of matters, so it's a disclaimer from me on that. It is just my personal opinion that I think Australia is the best country to migrate for those who can afford to go and stay there and have education for their children. It's really good. And even like, just to give you a brief thing, um, the Australian dollar is slightly lower than the Canadian dollar, but you can say like it's on par. Okay, so in Canada you will now, because a couple of years back the government raised the standard salary rate, so the minimum wage is $14 an hour, but after taxes you get about $11 an hour. Believe me, a student or anybody living on their own on basic wage in Canada cannot afford to live in Canada. Their salary will not even cover housing. Forget about anything else. It will not even cover housing, you know, if you want to live a fairly decent life. So, but in Australia, they start out almost with about $20 to $30 an hour, and they are more on the higher side, $30 an hour and things like that. So that's what even my friends in Australia told me, So, uh, and retirement benefits are much better than what it is in Canada, and even some of the US people, they are having very low pensions. Like there's one person I know, who's also a vlogger in the Philippines and gets only about 750 US dollars pension per month. And I know another American who's here, who's a friend of mine, who's here in Thailand, and that person gets like almost 3,000 US dollars a month as pension. So it depends on people from various places or whatever jobs they had, or I do not know how it works out. So yes, I feel it's really very bad. Quite a lot of Canadians speak French because French is also the second language, right? So everything, all documentation, everything, translations, email if you get from the government, it will be in English and French, English and French. So English and French is the main language. English is the first language, but French also is considered to be a main language, though it is a second language. And in Quebec. In Quebec is the main French-speaking province, and in Quebec, believe me, if you try speaking English, they will ignore you. That's what I heard. I've never been to Quebec, but if you are even speaking in English, they don't care about you. But I know I was working for a company that was dealing with all over France and in the world. In fact, Carrier Canada. And Carrier is the air condition and all. They are mainly in the US. It's a US company. But when we used to offer any of our machinery and all to anybody in Quebec, okay, anybody in the province of Quebec. They do not pay so many taxes and they do not pay so many extra fees and they get so much of free things over there compared to people in any other province. So Quebec, for some reason, I don't know why. Okay, they are not even the seat of the government. The government is not. It's in Ottawa, in Ontario. So I do not know why Quebec gets away with murder, kind of. So yes, in Quebec, if you don't speak French, you can be lost. But Montreal is also in Quebec, and Montreal is more relaxed. You can speak English, and many people are also speaking English. So that's to answer your question, IQ General. And as for being very polite, I don't know, because there is a lot of racism in Canada, a lot. It's not shown openly on the streets, but it is there even in schools. Even in schools, there's a lot of racism in schools. And the racism comes not from the people, it comes from the management, from upper level. So yes, I don't like Canada. I don't like Canada. I'm sorry. Um, I don't like calendar. I don't like their policies at all. I don't like even Trudeau. The Trudeau government is in a lot of problems. He was elected, I think, for a second time, but he is not being liked by many people, and many people speak openly against him. His own wife has left him after so many years and having big kids and all. His wife has left him, so there must be some reason for it. So yeah, I'm having a whole fight with the government because I was stuck outside Canada for 2 years because of COVID, and I'm having a fight with the government, but they don't budge. They say it's not in the rule. It's not in the rule. So what is this rule? The rule doesn't have COVID, but that is the rule for them. They go like horses in blinkers. I said it has to be considered. COVID is a thing that paralyzed the whole world, and so many countries made provisions for foreigners who were stuck in their country. They made provisions for their foreigners, and here the Canadian government doesn't make provisions for their own people. So it's that way. The thing is, like, the UK monarchy has been a representative of so many countries. Yes, so first it was the Queen, and now I guess King Charles has taken over. But they are only a figurehead. They have no say in any matter regarding the government policy. Australia, for that matter, also. Okay, and there are many more countries where the sovereign is still considered to be as the British ruler, but that's only in name. That's only in name, and I'm sure it's soon going to phase out now that the Queen is no more. I think in her generation, like, it was more popular. So I don't think that's going to continue for very long. Like, that sovereignty of the British is not going to continue for very long, you know, because they are just a figurehead. They actually got nothing to say in the running of the country or the government or anything, nothing. It's only a figurehead, like. So I don't think that's going to continue for long. Yes, IQ General, many people agree with you about Trudeau. I don't know how people elected them for a second time, but, there's so many people who are speaking against him now. So, yeah, that's that. I don't know. Weather's too bad in Canada. 6 months there is snow. We can consider 6 months of snow, and the other 6 months is divided into spring, summer, and fall. But 6 months of snow and snow. Like at the moment in Alberta, it is minus 33, like it was a couple of days back. And on another vlog, when I mentioned it is minus 33 degrees, somebody else said, no, in my province, it is minus 40. So that is how bad, winters can get in Canada. And the snowfall is tremendous. As far as I know, it was only the Queen Mother that was able to. She didn't require a passport. She could go to any country without having a passport or a visa. I don't think there's anybody else, or the Pope. Yes, I think the Queen Mother and the Pope. These are the only two people who have exemption of passports and visas to visit any other countries. But everybody else needs one. So I do not know about King Charles, whether that's applicable to him now or not. I don't know. No idea about that. Yes, Quebec was a French colony as well, uh, but I do not know why now in the Canadian government they should have so many privileges, and why are they still so snobbish? If you really are of so much about French ancestry, go back and stay in France, right? That would be ideal. We tell anybody, like, people who foreigners who come to Philippines, and they criticize the Philippine government, and they say things about the Philippine government. What is one advice to them? Go back to your own country, right? If you feel that is better, go back to your own country. Don't come to a country and try to change the country. No, don't do that. So, but I guess Quebec may have been formed right from before, and maybe they had those privileges, and maybe they're strong enough in the government power, like, to so whatever it is, and so be it. Like, let each one have their life as it is. That is it. So if Quebec has those facilities, they have it. Well, good for them, right? Good for them. It's okay. I just wondered, like, what is the reason? I've Googled, but I've not been able to find any answer, basic answer, like, which will satisfy my curiosity. Like, I wish I can find some answer why Quebec enjoys all these facilities. So why not Montreal? Montreal is so, cosmopolitan in that way, so lax in that way. So why is Quebec so strict? I don't know. But anyhow, and even then, whatever I'm saying, I'm not an expert. It's a disclaimer on my part. It is all hearsay. All right. It is what I have just heard from people, or I have read comments, and I've read all that. I am in no way connected or an expert in my comments. These are all my personal feelings and my personal views on the matter that I am expressing. So in no way they are related to anybody else. Like, it's just what I have gleaned on my own, from what I've read, from what I've seen. These are personally my views and nobody else's views. Nowadays, you have to be so careful about disclaimers, right? I'm a totally mixed. I'm a lot of mixture where ethnicity is concerned. I'm a lot of mixture, but uh, my my father was working in Burma, and he married a Burmese. So I've got ancestry from Burmese, I've got ancestry from British, but during the Japanese invasion, many of the people from Burma fled to India. So I am born in India, I have been educated in India. So my nationality is basically like Indian, but from the time we've grown up, we've always spoken English, because we belong to a community called the Anglo Indians, because we are born in India, but we are from British offspring. So, in the ancestry line. So, from the time we are born, we are only speaking English. I still don't speak the Indian language. I know it a little bit, but I'm not fluent in it. And I only know English as of now. I'm trying to learn a little French. No, no. When you have a Facebook channel, your life is an open book, and I don't mind. I don't mind. There's nothing to hide. Nothing to hide about it. You are where you are, right? Can't change it. You can't change anything about your life, right? You can try and make it better, but you cannot change your past. Yeah, I have a very diverse background, even nationality. I did a DNA test some time ago, and I've even got a little bit of African blood. I've got a little of, God knows, little of everything from everywhere. I do not know how they calculate that DNA, and come up with, it took almost about 2 months or something for them to get back with their report. But yes, I do have also some I even have some Thai blood, Thai, and of course Burmese blood I do have because my grandmother, my father's mother was Burmese, so I have that also. I have a British blood. I have, oh, like I said, even a little bit of some African country blood I have. And in our community, we find like some people are born fair, some are dark skinned, some are very light skinned, some are very fair. My wife was very fair, very white. My brother is very fair, very light, very fair he is compared to my sister and myself. So, yeah, we are what we are, right? Can't change your past. I don't know if that law applies to the monarchy. I don't know. I have nothing. I have no knowledge about that. There are many people of mixed origin. Many of the Filipinos, they are of mixed origin. All right. Many of them are, either from the French or from the Spanish, and most of them from Spanish origin also. Like, and yes, it all depends. Like, when people have taken over a particular country, um, they have offspring also from that country, right? Because they marry locally. So a lot of Filipinos have mixed blood as well. So I'm happy, IQ General. I'm happy to have you interacting on my live stream, and it's very nice. I hope you will subscribe to my channel and uh, comment on my videos as well. I post one or two videos every day, mostly one video. Some days I post two videos. Most of my videos are short, so they are not long to watch. They are all under 60 seconds. And some of my videos are a little longer videos. And yeah, I would be happy if you can uh, catch up on watching some of them. It will tell you all about my travels all over. I created my channel on February 9th, 2022, but I did not, sorry, 2021, February 9, 2021. But I was so hesitant and, shy and backward to get on to posting. Didn't know how to edit videos, what to do. Google is there, but never really motivated me to have so much interest. But when I was going to Australia for my teachers' reunion, I decided to take out a lot of videos and come back and then start posting on my channel. So from May 9th last year, I started posting. So for 2 years and 3 months, my channel had nothing. It's a wonder how come YouTube did not just shut down my channel. I did not post anything. But after 2 years and 3 months, I finally made my first post on May 9th last year, 2023. So since then, I've been posting every day. I used to post almost two videos a day, shorts or videos. Then I started posting one, and now I'm going back to posting sometimes two per day. But you will definitely find one. I don't miss, even if I'm traveling anywhere. I always make sure that I, um, post in advance. For my travel, I post in advance so that while I'm traveling, the video gets automatically posted. Like, so I schedule a post for in advance. Oh, thanks, IQ General. Thanks, IQ General. Uh, um, anyhow, you don't want your name taken, so even if you send me your name in a private email, I have my email address on my website description. So if you want to email me anything, you can always email me over there. but yeah, you wouldn't like your name being spoken on the channel, but just for me to know, like, so I can put a name to, to you. And I'll be careful not to mention your name on the live stream whenever we, or on comments of the post. I will not mention your name at all because you do not want to do it, and I respect you for that. But if you have a nickname or you want to give yourself a nickname also, that will be good enough. Like, if you can give yourself a nickname, so we know, like, okay, we can always address you on a personal name basis. It will be good. Like one experience I have, like, I went back to teach in the same school I passed out from. And when I went back to teach there, one of the masters, and we never liked him as a student, we never liked that master. And I used to call all those who taught me in the school, I addressed them as sir and ma'am, all those who taught me. But all those who did not teach me, I just addressed them as Mr. or Mrs. or Miss, as the case may be. I addressed them as that. And I used to address this person also as Mr. So and so. And one day he said, Winston, I don't like it at all. You call me Mr. So and so, but you call so many of your other teachers, you call them sir and ma'am. So from now onwards, I want you to call me sir. And I said, I'm very sorry. You have not taught me in school, so I cannot call you sir. And I don't think there's any harm in calling you Mr. So and so. So I think I'm sorry. I cannot call you sir. I will only call sir and ma'am to those who have taught me in school. I will always call them, always. I will always call them sir and ma'am. But those who have not taught me, I'll just could refer to them as Mr. or Mrs. or whatever it is. And then he said, okay, Winston, I'm fine with that. You don't want to call me sir. Then I don't want you to call me Mr. You call me by my first name, Brian. His first name was Brian. He said, you call me by my first name. You know, as a student, all the hate I had for him, like with the other students, we all hated him. But all the hate I had for him, and all the, whatever I had against him, dropped in that split of a second. It dropped when he just said this. He said, okay, Winston, you don't want to call me sir. I don't want you to call me Mr. You just call me Brian. And it's so great, when you call somebody by their first name, you're addressing them by their first name. It makes a world of a difference. When you say Mr. or you say something, it's like keeping you apart, like, from each other. But on a first name basis, it's so nice, like, and even in many schools in the West, they even addressed as teachers, and even in schools and universities, colleges, they address their professors also on first name basis. Many in the Western countries, you find that, like, I had this topic also on a previous one, and many of the people say no, they call sir and ma'am, like, so. But in the Western world, there are many places where they do refer to their professors and teachers by their first name. So I think a first name basis makes, breaks down so many walls, like. And so it was with this teacher. And from that time it became so nice. I used to be calling everybody who was in that school when I was a student, but they did not teach me, and I started calling them by their first names, and they were so acceptable about it. So it was very, very, very nice. I get a little surprised when my ex-students address me by my first name. I do get a little surprised. I know now they are big, they are family people, they have their own kids and all. But whatever it is, I've always been their teacher. I've taught them. If I didn't teach them, it's a different thing. But if I've taught them in school, you know, I feel a little strange when they call me by my first name. But it's okay if that's how they feel comfortable with, and doing it. Fine, let them do it. I'm okay with it. Oh, IQ General. Thank you so much. I do appreciate. Yes. Yes, Muhammad, very common name. After all, peace be upon him. You have the Prophet's name, right? So uh yeah, I know, even in Dubai, like, whenever the Prophet's name is taken, there is always PUBH, peace be, PBUH, peace be upon him. Those letters always follow the name Muhammad. So um you have a very good name, name of the Prophets. Common name, but very good name. General name among Muslims, right? General name. Yeah, so many are Muhammad. Yeah. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you. You see, already you get others, greeting you by your first name. It becomes so nice, like, because on YouTube, like, we call what we call ourselves, we call a YouTube family. Like, our life is open, so we are this. I'm just reading your comment, Muhammad. I'm from Burma, Japan, Canada, British, Africa, India. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I also, it also said I have some Eskimo Jewish blood. Eskimo Jewish blood. I do not know from which Jewish country that is, but Eskimo Jewish blood. Small percentage, but I do have also that there. The DNA test is really fantastic. Like, that's why so many people have been able to solve cases, all cases which were closed. They have exhumed bodies, they have got clothes from somewhere, still left lying around. And they've been able to trace, because of DNA, they've been able to trace. And there are so many people who were wrongly imprisoned for life also, or, they've been freed from prison because of new findings. So, yeah, DNA, the discovery of DNA has played a very vital role, especially in detection of crimes and things like that. So it's really, really important, like, So, Mohammed, just to give you a brief about people who have been on this particular live stream, as Mohammed is from Iraq, and Philippine Adventure Alex is from Philippines in Manila, and there was Pita. She's also from Philippines in Iligan City, and who else? I don't know who else came on my live stream. There was Jilin. The Jilin also, I forget her province, but Jilin also was here. So Jilin is from Philippines as well, somewhere in the north of Cebu. So she's from there. Muhammad, you are surprised. My whole family, we are blessed with looking young. Honestly, we are blessed with you looking young. So I may look young, I may feel young, I may be doing many things like a young person, but I am my age, what I am. So in the month of May this year, I'm going to complete 70. Yes, in month of May, I will complete 70. And if I dye my hair, oh my God, I do not know what age I will look. But really, my father also, he passed away when he was 71 years old. But like, people, he worked on the railway, but people always asked him, like, Burton, what is it? We don't see you around. Where are you? We don't see you working. And my father used to say, oh, I've retired. Retired? But you're so young. No, he said, I've reached retirement age. He had already crossed 60 and retired. And, people, my mother is 87, but you can see old age, but we all have look long in our younger days. Like, if we when we were like in our 20s and all, if we walked out with our mother, like, they used to say, oh, brothers and sisters, like, that's how they used to refer, like, brother and sister. So yeah, my mom also, she looked young. She's old now, but she's still able, fit and all that. Thank God for that. Alhamdulillah, as they say, right, Muhammad? So yeah, it's good. I tried learning Arabic, and being 19 years in Dubai and started. I have 3 years in Alin and then the remaining years in Dubai. I tried learning Arabic, but everybody used to say, speak from the throat. It's a guttural language. You need to speak from the throat. And I said, listen, if you can understand me, it's good enough, right? So where I speak from, where the tone is coming from, I tried. I couldn't get it. So just accept, but no, they never used to accept. And in the school, American International School in Dubai, where I was the vice principal. We had a lot of the principal was principal was also Arab, okay, and so one day his brother, he was I was the vice principal, but his brother was head of the senior boys, and I picked up a word, fadal, fadal, So to me, the meaning of fadal was when somebody is speaking, they keep on saying fadal, means okay, okay, like carry on speaking, okay, fadal. So I thought, so the principal's brother, he came and he stood at the door of my office, and he began talking about something. And no, sorry, I came to know that fadal means like to come in and sit down, fadal. I knew that as the meaning. Fadal means to come in and sit down, like, because when I used to go to his office, he will say fadal, he'll say fadal, so I'll come in and sit down, like, so yeah, I knew that as fadal. So I also kept telling him, fadal, fadal, and he kept standing there and talking, and I'm wondering why is he not coming in, like, and I'm saying fadal, fadal. And then after that, I told him, I said, I'm trying to tell you to come in. I'm saying Fadal to come in. He's saying, if you say Fadal while I'm talking, it means to just carry on. Okay, okay. And I carry on speaking, like, that means Fadal. And if you want me to come in and sit down, you have to beckon me. You have to tell me with a gesture, Fadal, Fadal, Fadal. Then it means just come in and sit down, Fadal. But if you just, I'm talking and you just say Fadal, then it just means, okay, okay, carry on, okay, thank you, okay, keep speaking, like it means like that. So I keep speaking. So like that, Fadal has many different meanings as well, I think, like, so yeah, it was so difficult, to understand all that. So I just learned the basic, I just learned the basic. And 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 the main thing, when you address male and when you address female, you use the falak and falik, right? Falak and falik, or in short form, the fuck and the fick, right? You use it in short form. So yeah, I had to take a while to just get used to that, how to address them, and how to change, like kifalak, kifalik, kifak, kifik. Okay, so I had to just learn how to change that. So yeah, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether I'm speaking from the throat or what. You can understand. And this is one thing I have realized, from my teachers, and I have realized from my teaching. Okay, I have realized this, that communication. I said this also on one of my previous live stream. Communication. What is communication? If you're able to say, even by action, and the other person is able to understand you, that is more than enough. So you can be two strangers, not knowing each other, not knowing the language, but if you are able to communicate with actions, with speaking, with eyes, facial expressions, if you are able to communicate that with the person, that's communication. You can have a very good conversation. Talking about that, I have a very good saying. I have a very good saying. I don't know whether it's my original one that has come up with it, but I don't remember seeing it anywhere. But the best conversation you can have with anybody is two people sitting side by side without saying a word. Two people sitting side by side without saying a word can have a very good conversation. That is one of the things I have come across, because there are so many things that you can, by gestures, even a nod of the head, a blink of the eye, all these are ways of communication, like, so uh, for me, like, somebody doesn't have to speak a full sentence, to communicate with me. Okay, English is not an easy language, but if they can food, hungry, food, hungry. If they can communicate, that's more than enough, right? So okay, the person is hungry, or even if the person says food, food, that's more than enough. One word, the person is hungry, the person wants some food, or water, water. That's more than enough. You can communicate, what that person wants, you can give it to that person. So it was very good, And one thing I like the Thai language, you can put two words together and it can become a sentence, like, So like even Arabic, like, kifik, kifak. Finished. How are you? Hello, how are you? And more than enough, you don't have to have a long, elaborate, good morning, how are you, and whatever it is, this greeting is like more than enough, So I say, sometimes I speak in broken English to some of the people, who don't know English. I speak broken English, but I hear many foreigners, they will speak fluent English to them. What's the use of speaking fluent English to them if they cannot understand you, right? Speak in broken English, they will still understand. Broken English doesn't undermine your ability to speak the language, it doesn't undermine your ability, right? But it will help that person to understand you better. If you if you speak, you know like for example, in Thailand, people will say no, I like. They don't say I don't like. They say no like. They don't say I don't like. And English has so many different terms in language, the present tense, the present perfect tense, the present continuous perfect tense. And I remember when I had gone for my interview for the Gulf for the first time in Oman, they asked me two important questions. They asked me, what do you think about formal? I mentioned this on a live stream before also. What do you feel about teaching formal grammar? And I said, I do not agree with teaching formal grammar. I don't believe in giving terminology in grammar. It is very difficult for the students to understand. And then when you give an exam paper and say, change this into the perfect past continuous tense, how difficult it is for them to understand what was the perfect past continuous tense. But if they are able to speak it, I am here today, I will be here tomorrow, I was here yesterday. If they're able to communicate, to you, that's more than enough if they're able to speak correctly. I have been doing this for many years. I have been doing this for many years. Good enough. Why should they know what is the terminology? Why should they know I'm using the present continuous tense or present continuous perfect tense? Why should they know that? Once they're able to speak properly and they are able to communicate the correct tense, then you can introduce to them the terminology and tell them, okay, what you have used now is this particular tense, all right? You have used had, you have used have, so it is the perfect tense. You're using having been here, so the continuous tense. So then you can teach them the terminology, but otherwise it's so difficult for them. And then they asked me, I had done a course on modern maths. So they asked me, the principal and five other people were there, and they said, you have done a course in modern maths. Tell us something about modern maths. And I said, modern maths is useless. You start teaching in modern maths, and later on you go back again into teaching the traditional math. So I don't see anything good about modern math. And I came home and told my wife, I'm sorry, I don't think I'll ever get the job, because two main questions they asked me about teaching, and I gave answers which I'm sure they did not like. But I was surprised when I got a call and a visa was sent for me to go and join them to teach in the Indian Central School in Muscat. So I was very surprised. So I was happy also that yes, they accepted my views of teaching. Because from beginning when I started teaching, my views on teaching are totally different, totally different. Yes, Muhammad. I have looked into Islam. I have looked into Islam. I even had a book translated, Quran kind of a thing translated from into English. I had bought a book on that. I looked into the Islam religion, and I came to know a lot about the Islam religion because when I was for 3.5 years, I was in Alain, teaching over there. I had a person from Kashmir in northern India who was teaching. He was teaching the Quran to them, to in the school there. He was teaching Arabic and Quran. So he told me, he said, my English is not very good, he said, and your English is like perfect English. So if you don't mind, uh, I'll explain to you my lesson in Islamic classes. In the Islamic classes, my lessons, I will explain to you what I have to teach them. Can you just tell me in English how to say it in English? So I learned a lot about the Islamic religion from him. For 3.5 years, I learned a lot of the Islamic religion. And that is why today when I don't like to speak about religion, because religion is something personal, and each one is entitled to their own religion, and everybody's religion is right religion, perfect religion, and only best religion. So I do not speak about religion. As long as people do good for religion, that is most important. So but it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot to understand being in an Islamic country. It helped me a lot to understand about the Muslim faith, the Islamic faith. And like one day when I was driving by, it was during fast. It was during fast, and I was driving by, and we came to an intersection, and we try to sometimes just get ahead of the intersection as much as you can. So I wasn't really blocking any traffic in the intersection. Okay, I wasn't really blocking any traffic, but there was one guy. I do not know why. He could have just gone a little, to the side and moved off, but he did not want to do that. He came and he was pounding, literally pounding and yelling on pounding on my front car, the bonnet of my car. He was pounding, 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 and he was in Arabic. He was saying something like he was from some other Islamic country, but in Arabic he was talking. He looked more like Egyptian or something. So anyhow, he was pounding, pounding, and he began this. And then I spoke to him. I said, "I'm sorry, I don't understand Arabic." And he said, "Why you here? Why you here? It is my fasting. I need to go home. I need to go home and fast. And you are blocking my way and blah blah blah." And I told him, "Really? You are Islam? You are fasting? Wallah, wallah, wallah." I said, "Allah is not going to accept your fast today. So no use, no use. You are getting angry. You are shouting. You are showing anger. Today, Allah is not going to accept your fast. Wallah, wallah. Allah is not going to accept your fast. So you will have to do one more day of fasting for Allah to accept it." So why? It's okay. There are nice ways. There are other people who are blocking the thing, not me. You have to go and shout at them if you want to shout, not me. I'm not blocking. You can easily go around, you know. So that way. So like, I was able to tell him like so many things, like, so I came to know that from the Islam religion, because Islam is one religion which gives you very clear do's and don'ts. Do's and don'ts. You're not supposed to do something, but if you do something else, it can minimize or reduce that particular thing. Like, let's say pregnant women, like, you cannot fast when you're pregnant and things like that. So it's okay, you have to drink water and things like that. So but when your fasting is over, your babies are grown big, if you can do a fast to make up those days of your pregnancy, like, so things like this. I may be wrong, Muhammad. You can correct me if I'm wrong in what I'm saying, but like, this is what I learned, like, from the Islamic religion. A lot I learned. So there are do's and there are don'ts, and there are some don'ts, but you can still do it, but you can make up things, like, so that's what I liked about the Islam religion, Islamic religion. I like that about it. I have also visited the I have also visited the Islamic mosque, right? The Muslim mosque in Dubai and all. I had a very good friend. He used to be my stationery. He used to supply me stationery. So I became good friends with him. I gave him a lot of business tips. You asked me if I'm a businessman. No, I don't know why. I'm not a businessman. I don't have the finance to invest in a business. I did start in Dubai. I gave up my vice principal's job in Dubai to start my own TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages. While I was in the school, my principal was good enough. He allowed me to have classes in the school. Somebody went and else and told him that, I have this qualification, I've done this diploma. And he said, "Winston, I'm looking out for that teacher." I said, "No, because if I run it in the school, then teachers will feel obligated that we are forcing them to do it." He's saying, "No, I will make a letter in English and Arabic and say it is their choice to do it if they want, and I will pay them back in installments, for whatever other fees. I will pay them back in installments as long as they are teaching in my school." So I had quite a few teachers from that school. And then he said, "You can have teachers from other schools." So I contacted my friends in other schools and they came, and I had about 16 teachers in my first batch. And second batch, I had only 4 teachers because it was very soon. But it led me to thinking, and let me start off. I took a franchise from UK and I gave up my job to start my own business. But my wife was in Canada and she said, "Now, children are big, come and stay with me. Don't live separately." So because of that, I decided to go to Canada to be with her. So That was it. So I started my own tesol, and I went to I went to all the free zones to see which is the best, and I found the Sharjah free zone was the best what they were offering, and I wanted to do it, but then I went to Canada and settled with my wife there, back again. So um, yes, I don't have the finance to do business, but I have a lot of business ideas. So I gave my stationery guy a lot of ideas, and he implicated he followed it. He carried out the ideas, and he was very, very happy about it. Very happy. Yes, the body language like fadal, yeah, fadal, fadal. Then come in, come in, come in, sit down, fadal. And if somebody is just talking, and even talking, I think it is like you do this, fadal. It means carry on talking, and yet you do this. It means come in and sit down. So yes, I agree with you. I guess it's a lot. It's a lot about actions as well. Yes. Yes, Mohammed, but English has been my language. I've been a teacher, so I think there is one thing I can do is talking. And yes, my brains are still sharp. My mother, she's 87. Her brains are still sharp, and very sharp. So yeah, God's blessing. Allah Kareem, as they say. So it's all God's blessing. As people say, I'm not very religious, but I do believe in God, and I say, like, without God in your life, nothing is possible. Nothing. So whichever God you worship, without God in your life, there is no life. Things do not always go your way. They do not always go in how you want it to go, but there is always a reason behind it, and there is always a learning experience. You know, COVID, for example, was a learning experience. It stopped the whole world. We make plans, and when plans do not work out and they fail, people go into depression, and all those kind of things, and they commit suicide and all these things. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Find another outlet, find another way, find something. Look at COVID. We couldn't even go out. We couldn't travel. We couldn't even travel locally, right? And even if we traveled locally, by chance, we had to keep wearing a mask everywhere and keep hand sanitizing, whenever you're going anywhere in any transport. And look at the conditions that COVID put on us, right? Worldwide, worldwide. But we managed, we survived, we came through it. Many passed away because of it. Many have suffered because of it, but many have come through, right? But we found another alternative. We found methods, we found ways and means of overcoming the COVID, right? Vaccinations came out, helped people. Some people died after taking the vaccinations. But that is all life, right? When it's your time to go, you go, right? You cannot stop you don't stop. Your coming into the world was not because of your wanting. Your going out of the world is not because of your wanting, right? It's all laid out, it's all destined, it's all written out already. So we don't control. We can control the things during our lifetime, do things that are best for us, eat things that are healthy for us. And these are things that we can control. Do the work that we can get to do. So COVID has been a very big learning experience. Before, if I missed a class, I used to do online classes later on. If I missed an online class, oh, I missed a class. Oh, do you want to catch up with the class? Ask the student, because the student is missing out, and plus I'm missing out, right? But then later on, because of COVID, I learned, oh, things stop. You cannot do it. You cannot carry on with it. It's okay. You missed one. You missed one. That's it. Finished. Let life carry on. Enjoy. Why you want to waste your time making up another class? No, just enjoy. You have not taken money from them in advance, so it doesn't matter. They don't pay, and whatever they are missing for that class, you do it in the next lesson. It's a lifetime of learning. Learning is not based on you do 10 classes and you finished you're an expert in the subject. No, so it's okay. COVID taught me a lot, especially to be more patient. As a teacher, I was already patient, but it taught me to be more patient. COVID. So yes, I did learn a lot from COVID. So life is a learning experience. I've always told my students in class, I'm happy when you make mistakes. And they say, oh my God, sir, you're the only teacher that tells us that all teachers get angry when we make a mistake. But you're the only teacher that says you're happy when we make mistakes. And I said, yes, because when you make a mistake and I can explain to you what the mistake is, you understand what is the mistake you have made, and then you know how to correct that mistake. So in future life, you will always do it, because there are many things we do that is right. We do it correctly, but we do it just out of habit. We do it out of force. We have seen somebody doing it, so we do it. We hear somebody saying it. How people learn bad languages? They hear it in school, they hear it from somebody, and they keep repeating it, right? And then they say, and they don't know it's a bad language till someone tells them this is not a good word to use. And then they come to know, oh, I should not be really using this word. Then they will, if by mistake they are about to say it, they will stop saying it, right? Because they know now what is wrong and what is right. And then it depends on them to choose, do you want to do what is wrong or do you want to do what is right? Correct. So same thing with speaking. So I always tell them it's good when you make a mistake, because I'm able to explain. Because some teachers, they just write the correction, but the student doesn't understand what was wrong. Why does it have to be this way? Why have you corrected it? So then I can explain to them. I can explain in the classroom, many made this common error, and I can explain to you this common error. And so then they understand it. Like even till today, many people, even people who know English, who speak English, whose mother tongue is English, they make a very common mistake with one particular word, ALOT. There's a big difference. There's no such word as ALOT. I just put it in the chat so that it makes it easier. There is no such word as ALOT. But many times, even people who know to speak English well will always write, I have a lot of work to do. I do a lot of things, a lot, and they will write it. There is no such word as a lot. Okay. The word is separate and lot is separate. I have a lot of things to do. And the other one is ALLOT, to allot, to distribute work. You know, uh, Quarters are allotted to the employees. All right. Um, uh, Classes, yes. So quarters, staff quarters are allotted to this, or you are allotted a plot of land. Okay, you are allotted, you are given for yourself a plot of land. So a lot. So there's a difference between a lot and difference between a lot. But many write ALOT. There is no such word as ALOT. So you get these common errors. So it's nice when you're able to explain to somebody and tell them, this is wrong. This is how the correct thing is there. If you just tell them no, it should be this, and just write the correction, they're not going to understand, what was wrong in what they said. And that is why it has helped me a lot. It has helped me a lot. It has helped me a lot, in being a good teacher and improving myself as a teacher, and communicating with others. Inshallah, Muhammad, I've looked into Islam, but as I said, religion is for each one. There are many things in the Islamic faith also. Uh, I don't want to speak publicly over here about anything like that, but just to mention, just briefly, um, the wars in the world that have gone on for the longest period has been in the Gulf region, right? So why? Why? you know so I don't know, all these things happening. So for me it's like, um, let each one follow whatever religion they have. I don't really, I'm attached to a Christian denomination, but I'm not a church goer. I do not go very often to church. I used to go with my wife on occasions, birthday, Christmas, Easter, New Year. I used to go with my wife. Okay. But for me, like, I don't believe in going to any church or anything. I can visit a mosque. I can visit a mosque and pray. I can visit a temple and pray. I visit a Buddhist temple also and pray. I can go to an Indian temple and pray. I can go to any church denomination. You are a born again, or you're a Seventh Day Adventist, or you're a Roman Catholic, or a Protestant, or whatever religion. I can go there and I can say the prayer also. So no problem. Okay. Speak to God. God is only one, right? So speak to God directly. That's the best. Yeah, speak the truth, do whatever good you can in the world, do it. You know, you do one bad thing, you do 10 good things, but one bad thing, people will always remember the bad thing. You know, they will forget about the 10 good things you did. They will remember the one bad thing you did. You know, so many great historians, so many great leaders, all right. Very few people will remember the good things they have done, but they will always remember the bad things that was done. So it's that way. In an accident, if the main person dies, it's always ready to blame that person, or pilot error caused the crash. Okay, why? Because the pilot is no more, the pilot is gone. Something like that. So yeah, I just leave religion out of discussions, because but I have been through Islam. I've read about it. I had even the Quran translated, like important verses and all there. I had that with me and all. So yeah, I've learned a lot from that man who I would explain to, because he would explain so much of it. And when he explains to me, I will Google, or I will find some material and read about it, because I would don't want half knowledge. Half knowledge, they say, is dangerous, so I don't like half knowledge. So I go into it, and I check and see, like, okay, what is some more information about this, so that I can get a proper information, about this. I only know about, like, the Shias and the Sunnis. I only know, like, Islam about these two, and any other faction of Islamic faith, like, um, I don't really look into it. That's not my cup of tea, so it's okay. No, I'm not Orthodox also. No, I'm not Orthodox. I just stay now with the Protestant religion, Church of England. From the time I went to that school to teach, Anglican school, you don't have to be rebaptized over there, into the Anglican church. So I just follow the Anglican faith. And because tomorrow when you die, you have to be buried somewhere. And even I'm not, in my will, I've not written about burial. I'm going in for cremation. I want to be cremated, and whatever my daughter does with my ashes, that's left up to her. you know but when I'm gone, I'm gone, finished, that's it. I don't want a grave where you erect a monument and then you visit the grave. Like, till now, my sister visits my dad's grave, like, and we upkeep the grave and all those kind of things. So no, I'm not interested in all that. People live in our hearts, right? People live in our hearts. Like, it's been 34 years. My dad passed away on Jan 13th, and there's not a day that goes by without me thinking of my dad at all. Like, not a day that goes by. Not a day that goes by thinking of my wife. It's now more than 5 years my wife passed away, but there's not a day that goes without me thinking of them in some way or the other. Like. So I firmly believe that we carry people in our hearts. Having a picture of them or an image of them and all these things, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. It doesn't make life better, about that. And telling everybody every day, like, about it, it doesn't matter. Like, you carry them in your heart. They are there. They live with you in your heart. Like. So when you are gone, you are gone. You will live in somebody else's heart, right? Maybe my ex-students, like one ex-student told me she was so naughty in school, so naughty, and her father later on became the principal, but he was a senior teacher, and her mother was the teacher of the junior school, like. And she used to give me 101 trouble in the classroom and all that. But yet later on in life, when she got married and she had her kids, she one day wrote to me and she said, "Sir, I wish my children had a teacher like you." That is happiness, right? That is enough. That is our reward, our satisfaction as a teacher. That is our satisfaction, our reward, when our students appreciate what we have done for them. And that's good enough. Uh, like I said, Muhammad, I respect each one, and whether it is Christianity, I'm a Christian also, but wherever it is, like, there are many things that I don't know. It's just life. What I feel about life, that is what I like to do about life. I just like to do it. I don't want anybody, um, burying and coming to visit, and all that finished. You're burnt. See, anyhow, we are dust to dust, ashes to ashes. That's what it says. So that's where we finally go back, right? That's where we finally go back to the earth. So in what form we go back to the earth, it doesn't matter, to me. Really doesn't matter. And I'm gone, right? When I'm gone, I'm gone. Now, for example, my wife also, she later on in life, she opted for cremation. But finally, my son, when he went to do it, he was looking at cremation, but then suddenly last minute he changed his mind, and he had her buried in a vault. You know, And I think he had her buried in a vault because my wife used to always say, "Oh, when I die in the grave, the worms will attack me. I don't want." And we said, "When you're gone, you're gone. You don't feel anything." No, 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 no. She's saying, "It's a horrible feeling. I don't want that to happen." So, I guess he put her into a vault, like, buried her fully in a vault. So uh, that was his right to do what he wanted because he was the custodian of her will. So it was his right. If he didn't follow the wife's wishes, that was his problem. But yeah, no. What about people who are drowned? They're drowned. They're out at sea. Their bodies are not recovered. Did they ask for that kind of funeral? No, but they're gone. They're buried in the water, never to recover. People have died in tornadoes, in earthquakes, buried into the ground, gone. How they have gone also, sometimes we do not know how people have gone, right? So that's life, Mohammed, where it takes us. We cannot control that, right? So it doesn't matter how we go. To me, these are my opinions. It doesn't matter how we go. Once we are dead, we are dead. We don't feel anything, right? We don't feel anything. It's the people who are alive that suffer, right? The people who are alive, they are the ones that suffer. The dead are dead. They have gone. Even they say the soul goes off and the soul continues to live. And none of us have seen this, right? None of us have seen this in life. They say there are good spirits and bad spirits and all, but you know, so none of us have really experienced this or seen it in life. And we have seen spirits or something like that. I don't know, but that is afterlife. No, nobody has seen afterlife, correct? Reincarnation. Nobody has seen reincarnation. Many people still remember, oh, in the previous life, I was this, I was that, and many things they remember, places and all. So maybe there are truths. Maybe there are truths about that. I'm not saying no, but for me, like it is like you're living this one life, just live it properly and go. That's it. So how you go, where you go, how it happens, that's destiny, right? So I appreciate your views. I understand what you are saying. I perfectly understand that. Um, but it's just my views. Like my daughter also, I have left it to her. I said, this is in my will. This is what I want to have done. But it's left up to you. It's your choice also. Don't worry about it. There's a verbal agreement with my daughter, like what she wants to do. But she says always, I will respect your wishes, dad, whatever you do. So I leave it to her. When my final time comes, because I will not know, no, when my final time comes, I will not know what is happening to me, correct? So it doesn't make a difference to me, true? So those who are there, those who have to see to my final rites, what makes them happy to do it. Correct? That is what my thing is. Yes, thank you. I always pray to God. Uh, no matter when I have to go, I am ready to go. I've lived my life. I've enjoyed my life, but I've never stopped doing things like my YouTube channel. I just started it at this late age and time. I started to learn. I started to Google. I don't have the finance to really buy a lot of equipment to, like for example, there's no lighting. Correct. There's no lighting coming this side. I was holding my phone for some light, from the torch of the phone. But I will try to improve, better quality. But if people accept me from here, that is important, right? But I will try to when people look at the video, when they look at the images and all, they want to see something good. So from that point of view, as and when I can manage to do something, when I start getting my pension, I will do whatever I can, get some better accessories and all. But till that time, I just manage. Like, but I used to read on YouTube, don't worry about what camera you have, don't worry about anything. You have a phone, just go ahead and start shooting and start doing it. You will learn along the way. And that is what finally prompted me, just do it. And I saw many vloggers also did the same thing. They said just start. We all started from scratch. And in those days, people started YouTube many years ago, and that time, what was YouTube like? They never had so many sophisticated equipment and all, but they still managed, right? They did it. So I'm also just doing the same thing. I'm just carrying on with it. I found a new passion in life now, which I'm doing. If I can help someone, and I've also pledged, I made a pledge that my monetization, when I get monetization, whatever I get from YouTube, whatever I earn, it's all going in charity. I've already said that. Even my Tesol, 10% of my Tesol business I had kept for of my profit, 10% of my profit, I used it for charity. So I want to give back, and I want to give back to education. So at the moment, whatever I make from my YouTube, when I start monetization, it's not yet. I have many watch hours to do. That's why I'm going on live stream to get watch hours, because I'm very, very low on watch hours. I have subscribers, a good amount of subscribers, but my watch hours are just crossed 300, but I need 3,000. So because of that, I'm trying my own way, will live stream as much as I can. I'm trying to build up my watch hours as much as I can. And yeah, I'm just doing it. And so when I get monetized, I want to use all my monetization money from YouTube, all my YouTube money, to provide education for children who really need it. And I will do it in maybe the country that I'm living at that time. I want to do it. So I know it is really going to those particular people, and I know it's really helping and benefiting them. Um, like over here also, I used to give free food or money to all the homeless people who are on the bridge. When I used to pass by a particular place, on the bridges, two bridges are there, and there are homeless people. So I used to just give them a packet of food, or I used to give them some money. Once a month I used to do that for them. Now also, I was settling up and I wanted to get rid of many clothes. Some are nice new clothes, not used often, but and some are used but still in good condition. So I wanted to just get rid of that, because I want to roam around with less baggage. So I just took that and I went to give it away, but the homeless people were not no longer there. So because I moved to another province, so because of that, I just took it and left it outside in a bag next to a dustbin. So when people come to throw, or when people come to take away the garbage, or these poor people, they go around garbage hunting, like, correct, for plastic bottles and all those kind of things that can be resold, kind of. So they will find this packet of clothes and they can use it. But I thought, like, I would give it to the homeless people I used to see, the clothes, so that different people will get a shirt and a pant at least, so but they were not there. I was surprised, and I went back like after about 5 months, but I was surprised nobody there. I must really thank you, Mohammed. You've done a lot of interacting. It's your first time over here, but you've done a lot of interaction on my channel, and I really appreciate you for that. And I appreciate all the advice also you've given it to me. And I hope you don't take it wrong in whatever I have said, because uh, while we appreciate everything, I've given you my reasons as to, you know, when I go, So when I'm doing something, the reason why I'm doing it, I give you that reason, and that's about all, Yes, I believe in charity, because uh, throughout my life, I've always, even my parents, I learned it from them, and especially my father, always very generous, always very helpful. Suddenly, he will bring somebody to the house and tell my wife, sorry, he used to tell my mother, his wife, he used to say, just prepare an extra meal for so and so. He's not had a meal for many days. My father doesn't know who he is. It's so dangerous to just bring people to your house when you have young kids and things like that. But that was my father. You just bring people home and just to feed them or something, give them a meal. And it's not like, take a meal, bundle it up, go and give it to them or something. He's inviting them to the house to sit at a dining table and have the meal and all that. So now when I look at it, I feel like it was so dangerous, at that time. Yeah, our house has been robbed on a couple of occasions. Okay, our house has been robbed on a couple of occasions. So could be also because of these kind of things when people come. So, um, but yes, my father also, my mother also was this, but my father was more like very very helpful to people around. It's like even if he was wearing a last shirt, he would take out his shirt and give. He was that kind of a man, and I guess that brushed off on me also a lot. So I believe in giving, because I say God gives you back. Some or the other. God gives you back in. I have had a roller coaster ride. I've had good times. I've had bad times also. But God has never forsaken me. He's always been with me, and He's not given me riches, but He's given me enough. There are times when I've had only one meal a day, but He's given me that one meal a day. I didn't have to put my hand out to anybody for that. And yeah, He's helped me during my bad days also. He's helped me. So I say it comes back to you. When you do good for others, it always comes back to you in a form that you would never dream of. You never think of it, but it comes back to you in some form or the other. So I'm grateful to God for that. God doesn't need a name. God is God. It's like that. So that's what I believe. So it's okay. I just believe that God has always been with me. He has always helped me, and He will help me in future. So I want to give back also. I want to give back. I don't know how many people are still here. It seems you're the only one over here, but I'm enjoying a very good interaction with you, and I'm really thankful to all the things that you have said over here. I hope people will, read a little more. They will watch this live stream and see your comments. They might be inspired from your comments also. To do something. It will be really your words over here also are very sincere and helpful. So I hope people will later on at least read, and they will, understand, and they will, get always take the good from things. Whatever good you can learn from people. That is what is important. Learn the good things and try to use the good things in life. No, I don't believe in the Trinity. You know a lot about the Christian faith, right? Looks like you know a lot about the Christian faith. No, I don't believe in the Trinity. I don't believe in three in one and all those kind of things. No. Father, Son, Spirit, everybody is separate. I cannot say I am my father. I can be my father to a kid, but I am not a father to my father. Or my father and myself, we cannot be one. So about God, I don't believe in the Trinity. I don't believe in that doctrine. And I think it's only the Roman Catholic Church that has the doctrine in the Trinity. So no, I don't believe in the Trinity. Who was Jesus? How did he suddenly come? How did Mary get him without any conception? How did Mary have Jesus? I don't want to go into all those details. I don't want to go into those details. If that is what has happened, or that is how the Christianity was born from Jesus's time, and just as Islam is born from the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So um, just as it is from that place. So same thing with the Christians. It's from the time of Jesus, from the birth of Christ started the Christian era. So leave it as that. Darwin came out with the theory of evolution. Okay, so for him it was a different thing completely. Evolution theory. So people try to dispute it and prove it wrong, and so let each one have the satisfaction of doing what they feel like. Okay, Darwin would have spent so many years in coming out with his theory, right? He would have done a lot of experiments. He would have done a lot of things. So give him credit for what he researched. Give him credit for what he researched, what he found out, and what kind of thing he came out with. All right. Many things that happen, we don't have to believe in everything that happens, right? So take the good out of it and leave the bad out of it, right? That's the best we can do. Talking about this, Muhammad, yeah, I don't believe in idol worship also. Idol worship, I don't, having statues and pictures and all, I don't believe in idol worship. You can talk to God wherever you are. I'm sitting here, I can talk to God. I'm sitting in a toilet, I can talk to God. I'm having a shower, I can talk to God. I'm walking down on the street, I'm traveling in a flight, or I'm traveling in this, I can talk to God, right? God is everywhere. God is a being, whatever it is, a supernatural being or whatever it is, is there a God or is there no God also? Have we seen God? No. Do we believe in God's creation in 7 days of man and the earth and all that? Well, it's all in people's belief, right? It's all in people's belief. So we follow whoever we follow according to our religion. We follow that. And people don't have a religion, right? The atheists and all also, they're right. They don't have any religion, but there is some belief that they have. So there is some belief they have, and they do follow some belief, right? So that is what is very important. You follow what you believe. That is your God, right? Whatever you're following is your belief. That is your God. So keep do it, do it. As long as you're doing good, don't harm somebody else. Don't harm somebody else. Just carry on doing good, whatever good you can, and that's most important. So yeah, sometimes we do some bad thing because we like to do it, or we want to do it, or we to escape something. We behave in a bad way, but that's left up to us. Like it's in our hands, right? We don't need anybody to tell us. We know what is good, we know what is bad, so it's left up to us what we want to do. You're a very knowledgeable person, also, Mohammed. That's really nice. It's good interacting with you on this. You have a wide knowledge about many things, Yes, as I said before, Muhammad, I agree with you. Without God, we are nobody. Without God, we are nobody. So, yeah. There are times when I'm in difficulty. There are times when I need some kind of answer. I need some kind of direction. That time I just pray to God, like whatever is His will. I don't say I want this, I want that. I like when we are talking about looking young and things like that. Yes, I've started asking God, God, at least keep me till 100 years. Till I'm 100 years, but I should have my full faculty. My hands, my mind, my brain, my everything should be still in working condition. I shouldn't be dependent on anybody. I don't want to be dependent on anyone. So along with this, let me live till at least 100, and see my grandkids and my great grandkids. I have my grandkids now, but see them married and see my great grandkids, just see a little more. I want to see a little more of the world. Some places I just want to see that before I go. Like my wife always wanted to go for a Caribbean cruise, and I used to tell her, "Come on, we'll go." And some of the others, she said, financially we are not good enough to take a trip, and then she had her illness, and then she couldn't fly anymore. And then with the results, like even though we were doing a little better in a way, but she couldn't fly also anymore, and then ultimately she passed away. So she did not fulfill her dream of going for a Caribbean cruise, And this is what happens with the world in general. You live for your children, and you are busy with working a 9 to 5 job, and just making money to make ends meet, and those kind of things, and you don't get to enjoy life. As they say, you don't have time to smell the roses as you pass by. So the youngsters of today are better in that way. The youngsters of today are smarter. Are smarter. They don't want to start families fast. They don't want to have kids at an early age or have no kids at all. They want to enjoy life. They want to go around. They want to see. They want to do things. So I think it's very wise, of the modern generation, like most of them, of some of them, who realize what life is all about, So yeah, that is it. Uh, okay, I don't know about that part of it, Muhammad. I don't know about that part of Islam about keeping in touch with more in touch with blood relatives because from my personal life, and I have also seen in the life of others, and in general, if you ask somebody, they will tell you friends are more important than relatives. Okay, I'm just speaking generally also. All right, friends are more important than relatives. You'll find relatives backing out from you in times of need, when you really need. It's not just financial need, but it can be even emotional need or anything. You will find, not all the time you will find family coming to your rescue. you know and many times the family are split, like they are not all living next to you. Right now, my family, we are all split up, right? Correct. So in times of need or in times of any kind of stress or something, it is your friends or people you have around you that come to be more of a family to you than your own family, right? My family, we are very close to each other, so it's okay. My sister calls me practically every day. She calls me, and we are on video chat every day, so yeah, we are very close as family. But the general saying also is that friends are better than family, because you choose friends. Family, you don't choose a family. You're automatically born into the family, so it's just by birth. But friends, you choose your friends, so that is of your choice. So that is something that is important to you, and many families, they fall out, right? Many families, they fall out. They do not communicate with each other for years. They do not, care about each other. So Islam may be having that rule or law over there, that it is better. And yes, family is always better, but um, maybe in those days, when they had patriarchal and matriarchal, families, like, head was the father or the mother, and families all lived together, or in the same community or same area, they all lived together. So it was very convenient in those days, I think. But today, family is quite split up, many families are not still living together, some of them are in different parts of the world as well. So it becomes difficult in times of need for family to be around you. They can only call you, they can only talk to you and things like that. But it's other people who are around you that would, be of more help to you at that time. So I don't know. But the general saying is always, uh, reach out to friends rather than families. Friends are better than family. So it's just a general saying. Yes, if they fall out with each other, family fall out with each other, that's wrong. But then, that is the life they are choosing, right? Like, I tried to get all my cousins together. I said, let's form a WhatsApp group, so we can all be together. And from my father's side, none of the cousins were wanting to, form the group. Nothing, none of them. They said, no, 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 it's okay, we don't want. Some didn't even bother to reply. But the one or two that replied, and I have a lot of cousins from my father's side, and few from my mother's side. But no, few said, no, 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 it's okay, we don't want to form the group. And others just did not bother to even respond. So, why? But when in times of need, when they need something, when we were in Dubai, and my wife was working for Emirates Airlines, then at that time they would say, "Oh, my son is searching for a job in the airlines. Can you fix him up in the Emirates Airlines?" Or my daughter's coming to Dubai for a holiday. Can you put them up for some time? Can you let them stay with you? And all those kind of things. When they want something, then they are all honey and sugar and spice. but otherwise they do not care about you. So little by little, even I just stop communication with them. It's okay, you don't want to keep in touch, so stop communication. But now and then I post on some of them. I post on their Facebook page and all that, and if they respond, good and well. If they don't respond, it's okay. I do my share. I still comment on their posts. I don't block them. I don't delete them. No, I keep their accounts on Facebook and all, and I, just respond to their posts whenever it is. Even if they don't respond to me, it don't matter. I do my due diligence. If they post again, I will still respond. That's it. You are right. As you sow, so you will reap. I agree with you, Muhammad. Yes, as you sow, so you will reap. Oh, Machenda, very nice to see you here. Thank you for joining my stream. Better late than never. I had Alex on my stream later on. I think I've got only Muhammad, Muhammad is from Iraq, and IQ General. His name is Muhammad. He's from Iraq. So he has been communicating with me a lot on this live stream. Yeah, and good insight. Well-read man, and he knows a lot about things in life in general, and about religion also in general. He knows. So even about Christianity, he seems to know a lot. So yeah, it's like good. In fact, Islam and Christianity shares so much in common, from religion and names, like Maryam and Abraham and Isaac, and they even share a lot of names in common. Yes, Muhammad, I'll just make you a moderator on my group. Sorry, I forgot about that. Where is it? Uh, okay, Mohammed, I made you also a moderator on my group. Okay, so you can interact with the others even more better. I do not know how, in what way you can interact better, but anyhow, they always say that it's better to interact with each other. So I made you a moderator on my group as well. Yes, Mohammed, I really enjoyed also all your views, and I'm really thankful that you have been on my channel and my live stream. And though this is your first time, you have stayed on here for a long time, and I'm really happy about that. And I'm really good. And anyone who just happens to pass by my channel, if you can just put in a comment so I know that you passed through my live stream. You don't have to keep staying on, but those who are just passing by, because I see many participants, but I don't see you logged in. So if you're just passing by my channel, please do just type a comment so at least I know who it is that has passed by, and I will be able to recognize you when you come again the next time. Um, my YouTube family is still small in sense of those who interact with me on a regular basis. So I kind of still do remember some of them. Like one person joined from Ohio, but the next time he was there, and I remembered, and I said, "I think you are from Ohio, isn't it?" And he replied and said, "Yes, yes." So I still remembered it, like as Muhammad, as you said, my memory is very sharp. So hopefully, I'm very good in directions. I can go to a place once and I can find my way again there. Unless there's too many left and right turns, but I can find it, provided like there's not much construction come to change, the landmark. But I can find my way back. I have a good memory for landmarks and directions. Okay, Magenda, you were on a live. Sorry, I was not there because I just said, let me, like you also said, no, do more live stream. So I said, let me just go and start a live stream, and I came on, and some of the other, it has carried on. So it's good, and for most part of the time, like I think, Muhammad IQ General. Muhammad has been, interacting with me over here, and we've had a long conversation. And I hope many can read the live stream, watch it again and read all his comments, because it's really good insight. Mohammed, this particular blogger, Magenda, she has been very helpful to me to share my channel and, help me with my subscribers and things like that. So she has promoted me a lot on YouTube, and I'm really grateful to her, for me doing well for my subscription list, So you see, this is how uh, you help someone and someone helps you in return. This is how it is. Like, you are good to someone and someone else will be good to you. So though Magenda did not really know me, but yet she was very kind. And she's been helping many others also who are struggling with their YouTube channel. She has been helping them. So you do good to someone and someone else will be good to you. It always comes back in some way or the other. So don't worry, Mohammed, if you have to carry on with something, do carry on. And um, I will try to advertise more, my live stream in general. I will try to advertise it so that people know of it in advance. And if you have subscribed, you said you have subscribed, sorry. So you will get, click on the bell icon so you get notifications. So, whenever I post a video or whenever I'm going on live, so you will get a notification. And if you're free, you can always join in or just peep in for a while and go out if you have something and things like that. You take care too, Mohammed, and thank you for being on my channel, and have a wonderful day, right? Your day also would be just kind of starting. So have a wonderful day. Oh, that's okay. It's good if you're a moderator because they say that you can, uh, also interact well better with the others. So I do not know in what way, but it's okay. Each one can interact with the other. It's nice. Yes, Magenta, I'm just keeping on doing live as much as I can. I will do it. No, I've made him a moderator. I've made Muhammad a moderator. It's not it's not looking blue, but I made him a moderator. It's got a little different color. It's not a dark blue like yours. Let me check again. But okay, it says I got the comment. It says I General is now a moderator. Maybe next time if he replies something, if he's on the live chat and he replies, then maybe it will show up next time. It's showing 4 participants. So if anyone is passing by my channel, if you can just leave a comment so I know that you have passed by my channel. So later on in life, later on if you comment on my videos or you comment on my live stream, then I will know that you have visited me before as well. Like IQ General now has been first time on my Mohammed from IQ General has been first time on my channel, and we have interacted a lot and very well, and good discussion. When I made a moderator, I got a comment, Magenta. It says IQ General has been added as a standard moderator. So, yeah. Okay, I've been around a lot on my live stream, and I think now I'm reduced to only one or nobody. Still shows two participants. It shows IQ General and Magenta as participants. So how are you doing, Magenta? Everything okay? Don't hear from you much, but you said you are very busy at this time. Is anyone still on the chat? Okay, then, everyone, thank you so much. I will end the live stream here. Bye, and thank you all for having been on my chat. I really appreciate it, and see you next time. I'll try to come on every day, and on the weekend, especially for sure. I will try to put it in advance. Bye, take care, love you all.